Hello, I'm Malika Norman and welcome to Buckingham News. Our top stories: Scavenger hunt for local business, a talk on language by Professor David Crystal, and the Red Bullets play again 1 year on. Love Buckingham, a group which aims to share the love of Buckingham, recently organized a community event where they hid rocks for the public to find. Derek Mehta caught up with some of the prize winners.
On the 29th of September, Love Buckingham posted on the community Facebook page that they had hid rocks painted with local business logos around the town centre and different parks in Buckingham.
This is a fantastic Italian in town, so we just did rocks that were called Love Buckingham rocks, and anyone that found them, they could take them to the shop that sponsored them and they'd get a prize.
Love Buckingham came about to educate people on what it is like to live in Buckingham.
Create a community spirit as well, because I think Buckingham's got a lot to offer.
The event encouraged people to go to different businesses around the town centre, and it'll be interesting to see the effects this has on the businesses.
Really good for me as a business because it brought extra people back into the shop and got people thinking about who craft little monsters are.
One's vision for Love Buckingham has been positively received, and there'll be another one like this in October or December, so keep your eyes out for rocks like this, and you could win a prize like this. This is Derek for Buckingham News.
The University of Buckingham were delighted to welcome Professor David Crystal, a prolific author who had a lecture for both students as well as local schools and literary enthusiasts. Lexi Grishaw caught up with the great scholar.
Professor David Crystal is a British linguist, academic and author. He delivered 2 lectures at the university. Each was followed by a question and answer session. The lectures covered topics of accents and dialects, as well as grammar. There were also a range of Professor David Crystal's books on sale, in which he was happy to sign for anyone who purchased one.
Curiosity, in other words, about language. I think anybody who grows up in a multilingual environment and at some point or other has to explain and explore the different circumstances in which these languages are being used will generate a curiosity about language. The teacher that inspired me most was a professor called Randolph Quirk, who was Professor of English at University College London, where I did my degree. And he taught me something which was a reflection of the way English was taught at that university. And that is that language has 2 sides to it, language and literature. And they are 2 sides of a coin. And you should never study language without exploring its use in literature. And here's the more difficult one. You should never study literature without exploring the language that gives that literature its character.
With a great wealth of experience, Professor David Crystal is certainly the man to finally fix our grammar issues. This is Lexi Grishaw reporting for Buckingham News.
It must have been like poetry and literary heaven for the Briar Rose Poetry Society, but there was no time for a sleeping beauty, with Buckingham's delightful author and lecturer, Cherry Combe, attending to launch her latest collection of poems. Timothy Incombe has the full story.
On Saturday, the 6th of October, 2 days after National Poetry Day, the Briar Rose Poetry Society convened at Odanji Hall. The occasion was a pre-launch event in celebration of the publishing of local anti-poet Cherry Combe's book, a selection of poems entitled On the Boat, a Tragicomedy. To mark the occasion, a number of poets, young and old, read their own efforts to a discerning audience, which included Vice-Chancellor Sir Anthony Seldon.
Poetry has been a source of great pain and agony for me all my life, and I've always thought, why don't they just say what they mean? So I'm a bit surprised to find I've written a lot of poems, but I hope that if you read them, students read them, they'll go, yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that. That's not difficult. That's not making me feel stupid. That's making me feel more me. He's rubbing it, look, upside and downside, another side. Look, baby monkey, another one, mummy one, look.
I'm a medical student, so we don't really interact much with the community of Buckingham, with, the English department especially, and I'd never really written poetry before. I wanted to find people who did, who could inspire me, and perhaps I could inspire as well, because I started writing poetry in March. So I decided to make a society, so we could link together the different facets of the university and find people who are like-minded. And it worked out really well. Back bent, head bowed, limbs embracing its wounded torso in an act of love that should have been my own, inviolable without the protection of the front cover. Contents lost, but
irresistibly by the magic wood, I find a path and enter through lush green arboreal arches.
I brilliant. It's the story of
The American poet Emily Dickinson once said, "If I feel physically as if the top of my head were taken off, then I know that is poetry." Sharing the intimate details of our lives with those around us through our own written word is incredibly cathartic for a great deal of people. And many argue that true community can surely be achieved as a result of the power of literature. This is Timothy Nkum for the Buckingham News.
Student life at Buckingham just got a lot more colorful underfoot. A new term has given the social media department the opportunity to engage with students. Joanna Hall went along to find out more.
The latest social media competition around the university campus is connecting students from the ground up. University hoodies and tickets to see MK Lightning are on offer. A simple photo with a few words has inspired new students. The first winner was announced last Tuesday.
So the floral decals were used because we wanted to engage with more current students on campus to go on our social media basically. We felt that if you did it as a physical presence, it was more likely for us to uptake it and actually follow us and engage with the whole campaign better than if we just use social media that they weren't on already.
They say everyone is looking down these days, therefore the university are looking for fun new ways of opening up social media communication with the students.
It gives people around the university a chance to interact with the university itself.
Yeah, I think they're really cool. It brings a new element to the university that we didn't have before. They're a nice little pop of colour, you know, adds some brightness around the place.
Yay! This is Joanna Hall reporting for Buckingham News.
And now for the news in brief. Recently, the old Tanlaw Mill Bar has had a controversial makeover, with some describing the new high backed up seating VIP area as a VIP area. Representatives of the OTM bar said the area was not only for VIPs, but in fact was for anybody who wishes to book an area in which to sit. Other additions to the area including a jukebox fit to burst with a variety of genres of music and a fruit machine. The much-loved pool table has been moved upstairs should anyone still desire to use it. At the Freshers' Fair last Wednesday, an outstanding effort was made by the societies to showcase the interests and passions of students, old and new. The Students' Union executives reported that no table was left untouched, but some societies laid out treats in order to attract prospective members more effectively. With the societies offering opportunities to experience new and exciting activities, the event was hailed as a resounding success. And now over to sports with Joanna Hall.
Thanks, Malika. MK Lightning went head-to-head at home against Nottingham Panthers and both sides fought to the finish. Richard Abasoga reports.
In the first period, there were no goals scored. However, there was a fight between Nelson Armstrong and Robert Farmer, resulting in a 7-minute penalty for Farmer and a 17-minute penalty for Armstrong. For the second period went quiet, but Lightning broke away, scoring 3 goals in the space of 3 minutes. The first was scored by number 59 Eric Nally, who rocketed the puck behind the opposition goalkeeper Sam Gospel. The second was scored by number 81 Radek Maido, who sniped the puck on the left pad of Gospel. The third was scored by number 29, Michael Fine, who ricocheted the puck between the legs of Gospel. Less than a minute later, number 59, Eric Nally scored his second goal of the game by flicking the puck over the glove of Gospel. In the last 5 minutes of the second period, an open ice hit on Eric Nally sparked a fight between Clay Anderson and Guluem Leone. Nottingham Panthers returned in the third period where number 81, Luke Pither, scored a single goal against Lightning. However, this was short-lived as in the last 2 minutes of the third period, number 28, Tim Wallace of MK Lightning scored the final goal, ending the match 5-1 to Lightning.
Milton Keynes Lightning beat Nottingham Panthers on a Sunday night. But it's Milton Keynes Lightning 5, Nottingham Panthers 1.
The next game is Sunday the 14th at 5:15 p.m. in the Planet Ice Arena against Cardiff Devils. This is Richard Abaska, Buckingham News.
Balls, balls and more balls. The University Sports Society enjoyed a rush of new freshers keen to join. With sports indoors and outdoors, there was plenty of action. Jordan Galloway has the story.
The beginning of the autumn term brought the university's largest intake in this year, with many freshers turning up to sporting societies. Basketball experienced the most interest in the club's history, with the newly formed girls team also creating quite a stir. Badminton saw freshers with both experience and enthusiasm take part, whilst the hard court was transformed into the Barons basketball territory, with the Buckingham korfball team also moving in to demonstrate the perfect technique to this quirky historical activity. The first basketball team's training session of the term was particularly successful, with the freshers being put through their paces to make the cut. Callum Roberts, the university's new sport and SU manager, is pleased with the array of sports on offer and the interest from the 2018 freshers.
We had really good kind of engagement from the new students. It was a really buzzing freshers with lots of people kind of talking to all the different societies and sports clubs. And hopefully we are going to be looking forward to a really successful year for all the sports teams.
With lots of new sporting events to look forward to, follow as we watch new faces rise to the forefront of sporting societies. This is Jordan Galloway reporting for Buckingham News.
And now back to the studio.
Thanks, Joanna. Every day, residents of the UK struggle to find cheap, healthy, and tasty meals to satisfy their taste buds. Much to their relief, Alice Missamini comes to the rescue with a cheap, healthy, and tasty curry dish.
Curry is enjoyed in all different ways all over the world. Today, we will show you how to make a spinach chickpea curry. First, the ingredients that you will need are a tin of chickpeas, a large can of tomatoes. If you would like a creamier option, you can use coconut milk, 1 onion, 3 garlic cloves, as much spinach as you want, as much curry powder as you want, oil to fry onions. We use coconut oil, but vegetable works just as well. Second, cut up the onion and mince the garlic. Fry until pleased. Then drain and add the tin of chickpeas. Let simmer for a while, then add tomatoes. If you're using coconut milk, add it here. Next, add spinach along with the curry powder. Let simmer until happy. Last, add the curry with the chosen side and enjoy it. So next time your parents are worried about your eating habits, make this and show it to them. All involved parties will enjoy this spinach chickpea curry. Yum! This is Alice Massimiani from Buckingham News.
Thank you for watching Buckingham News. We'll see you next week.